And that's a wrap on FP2 in Monza. And it looks like Ferrari are just as good as they started, especially Charles Leclerc, who, you would think that Vettel would be a little bit closer. So we'll go through the results. I'm just going to give you, as always, the quick rundown. And I will make sure that you guys, like I said in the last video in FP1, I'm going to be tweaking all of these graphics. So this came as a specific request. Someone was saying, I wish I could see all of the qualifying time. So I added that little ticker below. But if you're new to this channel, basically whatever, if you guys have requests on graphics, or if there's a certain video or a certain type of content that you want to see, I just go in and make it. And this is a fan channel by a fan for fans. So I'm just going to give you a really quick rundown because practice sessions can be boring. This one's a little bit boring, but it did rain again. We weren't really expecting rain in the second practice session, but it did, and which it just makes for interesting dynamics because it likely won't rain in qualifying, but it may rain in the actual race itself. So there's a lot of things going on, and Mercedes, I think, like normal, I think they played a better strategy. They split the Ferraris, and again, let's hit the results really quick. But they split the Ferraris, used Bottas. They used Valtteri for a tow for Hamilton, so they actually ended up splitting Leclerc and Vettel. So Leclerc P1 120 spot 978. And I'll pop it up on screen as well. That was another specific request. So again, if you guys want to see stuff, I will make it. So that's why it kind of took me a long time because I'm still standardizing all this. I have to do it. It's soul crushing by hand, so I'm figuring it out though. I've got a faster way to do it, so I'll be making these quicker. But you got Leclerc P1, Hamilton P2 at plus 0.068, Vettel plus 0.201. You can read, so I'll just leave it up there. Now I don't have to read them, which is nice. But the thing that sucks especially for McLaren, they were running so well, and Lando's having some hydraulic issues. The guy can't catch a break from, especially coming from the last race. So you kind of feel for him there. You got Daniel Kvyat rounding out the top 10. So again, good showing there. And Alex Albon, keep an eye on them. Him and especially a lot of the other drivers are still struggling with chicane 1, which you can imagine. Again, it's the fastest track on the grid, or it's the fastest track on the entire calendar, and going out into chicane 1, going 240 miles. I think both Valtteri was clocked at 243 miles an hour. So they're moving down that straightaway, that first straightaway. So from what I've seen so far, just giving you the predictions based on the data, and I can, again, now that I've got these graphic packs, and now that I've sort of added some of the short code, I can do some of the predictions. I can do some of the estimations based on what their actual simulate, but they haven't really run any simulations yet because it's been rainy. So qualifying session is going to be crazy, and I would say if you don't really watch free practice sessions, watch FP3. I feel like I always say that, but watch tomorrow. It's going to be the first real time they've run. So, yeah, some of these times I think are a little bit misleading, but yeah, it sucks for Norris. But I think those are some of the main storylines. There were no real wrecks or no real incidents. I started to keep track, and I actually ended up losing track of the first chicane victims, as I've been calling them. Got Kimi twice, Valtteri, Sergio 3 times. Sebastian had a couple. Leclerc had 1. Albon had 2. Lando is leading the way, but again, he had the hydraulic issue. But and even Hamilton had 1. So the session was red flagged by some pebbles. So there were some random things here and there, but nothing too crazy. I think they were all being cognizant of weather, especially after all the incidents in FP1. So FP2, if FP2 proved anything to me, it proved that Mercedes, they're already practicing the tow. So they were willing to sacrifice some of their lap times and simulations to practice the distance, the gap, what's the perfect tow distance, and then they're going to run the analysis, I'm assuming, tonight, which, correct me if I'm wrong, I watched every single second of that session, as I always do, and I didn't see Ferrari doing that. But if you remember last year, I think that mishap, the miscommunication, I'll call it, in my opinion, miscommunication by Ferrari to not give Seb's the tow, I think cost him a lot, because he ended up having the incident with Hamilton on the first lap. So I think they got to get this right, and I think they got it right last year. They just gave it to the wrong person, giving it to Kimi. But I already, maybe I have a preconceived notion going into this after what's happened in the past few races, how good James and Mercedes have been strategy-wise. But yeah, they're already practicing for the like that just makes me wonder. But again, Leclerc keeps delivering. So this is all the making of a really good race. And if you're, you know, I don't want to make this video too long. Unlike the, you know, you see Crofty, nothing's going on because they're not really racing in FP2, especially when it's raining. They're not even on the track. So I'm not gonna make a lot of predictions. I'm not gonna just spout stuff. So I'm just gonna cut it off there because really, those were the main storylines. Hamilton's split. Max is running what Max is doing, but this is a very, you know, you can tell this is a very power focused track. So the midfield battle will be interesting. There will be a lot of overtakes, as you can see, and they are struggling with chicane 1. And it's not just the rain. I mean, it was raining a lot of that session, but a lot of that was, even when there were parts, I would say they were calling it dry, at least, not even I would say. So that'll be really interesting tomorrow. And I wouldn't be surprised if someone was playing for the overcut, hoping for the safety car. So we'll cut it off there. Let me know what you feel about the graphics. If you're new, again, feel free to especially if you're new, leave a comment to let me know what you want to see. But now, again, I've got all these new graphic options I've built in to Premiere and Motion and Final Cut, so I can make you guys a lot of these simulations and a lot more of the stuff that, you know, not many people make. So if you want additions to these videos, put in a request, and I'll see you guys for FP3 tomorrow. And I'll be uploading probably some bonus content today and tomorrow and in between the practice session. So thanks for checking this out. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys' support, and I'll see you tomorrow.